Greetings, ladies and reptiles. This is Mr.Quest of the AlloClaw Productions, and welcome back to a Top 5 Monday. Finally, after a long time before I did Top 5 Epic Fails or Controversies, I'm back on Top 5 Mondays. This is my most successful series. This is my series with the most views. So, without further ado, let's get started. On today's Top 5 is going to be Top 5 of my favorite lizards. So, without further ado, let's get started. Number 5. And coming in at number 5, we have a lizard that I already have, obviously, and it's obviously the mascot of my channel, the Chinese water dragon. It was originally going to be something different, but I was on a tight budget and I had to get a different lizard, and what unique lizard to get other than the Chinese water dragon, huh? But you know. So, I like the Chinese water dragon. I've had experience with Chinese water dragons before in my past. Unfortunately, my last one died. His name was Sid. But the one I have now is Gendrome, and I'm going to make absolute sure that his life exceeds 20 years, probably. But at the same time, I'm probably going to get some more reptiles. But it's probably going to be later in the future when I move to a different place. So what I like about Chinese water dragons is that they're basically, I mean, a lot of people mistaken them for iguanas, but that's not actually true. They look kind of different. They have a white beard. They have a different shaped head than iguanas. They don't have those neck flaps that iguanas do, and they have different spikes as well as their different size. They can only reach about lengths of 4 feet, which is the maximum, and well, that's from head to tail anyway. And the fact that they're insectivores, but they can sometimes eat fruits, not vegetables, but fruits. So it's fun to watch them eat, and they're very active, and they're very tame. That's why I like them. And my lizard that I have, Gendrome, my water dragon, is the tamest that you'll ever find to a Chinese water dragon. So that's the Chinese water dragon at number 5. Now, next, number 4. And coming in at number 4, we have the Sudan plated lizard. Now, the Sudan plated lizard I really like a lot because of its nice plated scales, as it's known as the plated lizard, and I just like the shape of it overall. It looks very dinosaur-like, actually. It looks very much like the I don't know what dinosaur, but for some reason, my parents don't like this lizard. Well, they're not really. My parents aren't living with me currently. I'm currently on my own, but that's not the point. The Sudan plated lizard, it has a lot of these scales that make it plated, and also they're insectivores. Well, not really insectivores as much as omnivores. They will eat both meat and fruits and vegetables. So whatever you give them, make sure it's healthy. And this is something I've wanted, and I might possibly get as well alongside my water dragon. Although it's not going to be coexisting with my water dragon. Well, cohabitating is the word more like it. But anyways, he's going to be in a separate enclosure. And these things are so easy to take care of, which is what I like the most about them, because they don't need humidity at all apart from a bowl of water. So yeah, that's the Sudan plated lizard. Number 3. Coming in at number 3 is the Cuban rock iguana. Now, this is one that I was going to consider getting, but it's slightly expensive, and they have advanced care, although they are much more tame than your green iguana. Well, than your out of the blue green iguana. What I really like about Cuban rock iguanas is that they're very much dinosaur-like. Like, they look very much like one of those big dinosaurs. I don't remember what they are, but what they look like actually. But they are very much of one of today's dinosaurs because they're, well, somewhat endangered, but they're being captive bred currently and being kept by respectful owners and rightful owners as well. And I was going to be one of them, but I'm on a very tight budget, which is the problem. So, the Cuban rock iguana is one of the most interesting lizards, and the Cuban rock iguana is the closest thing that you'll ever find to a tame dog with scales, pretty much. So, that's kind of why I wanted it, and why I wanted to find my dog a new best friend. Well, one that he won't be weird with, and that would be a reptile. But the closest thing that he would find to that is the Cuban rock iguana. But obviously, it's not going to work because I'm on a tight budget. So, there you go, the Cuban rock iguana. Number 2. And coming in at number 2, we have the Whitethroated Monitor. Now, this is a monitor that I really like. Well, because it's a counterpart of the Blackthroat monitor. Not only that, it's because of the look of it. I mean, it looks very dinosaur-like. I mean, the head, the body, the claws, the tail. It's very much like one of today's dinosaurs. And the dinosaur it kind of reminds me of is the, it would have to be the the Monolophosaurus. That's what it reminds me of, the Monolophosaurus. The Monolophosaurus is one of my most favorite ones, too. But the Whitethroated Monitor is very much like the Monolophosaurus, just because of its head shape. And that's why I really like it. I really like the Whitethroated Monitor, and I hope to own one someday. The only problem is, I have a small dog, and there's a good chance that a big monitor like this might eat my dog. So, that could be a problem unless I put him in an enclosure where Mikey, my dog, would not reach him in, and he would not reach my dog. So, and these guys can be very tame as well, as long as you are an advanced keeper, because these lizards are not for noobs. They're not for noobs. That means you guys watching this video. And I don't mean all of you. I'm looking at the noobs of the reptile hobby. So, there you go. The Whitethroated Monitor. Number 1. And coming in at number 1, we have a lizard that is definitely one of today's dinosaurs. A lizard that is very much like one of my most favorite dinosaurs of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and reptiles, the Cayman Lizard. Now, the Cayman Lizard, I don't like as much as the Tuatara. I mean, who doesn't like the Tuatara? The Tuatara is pretty much a dinosaur today. A living dinosaur today. It's not one of modern-day dinosaurs. The Tuatara itself is a dinosaur from the past living on today. However, there's only 3 of them left in the world, and they are protected because they're critically endangered. But that's not the point. The point is, apart from the Tuatara, the Cayman Lizard is my number 1 favorite lizard. The reason being is because, I mean, look at it. Look at it. The reason why I love it so much is because it is today's Allosaurus. I mean, it looks like Allosaurus. It eats like Allosaurus. Although it's semi-aquatic, Allosaurus isn't semi-aquatic, but who cares? It looks like Allosaurus. It would be a color of Allosaurus, and it is my favorite lizard of all time. And guess what? This is not a very much known fact about Cayman lizards. They are aquatic tegus. The reason being why they're tegus is because of the shape of their head. Looking at their head, you have to look closely at their head to tell if they're a tegu, and they obviously are. They're also known as aquatic tegus. But I would just call them the Cayman Lizard, or the Allo Lizard. That's what I would call it, the Allo Lizard, because it looks like Allosaurus. But anyways, that is my number 1 lizard, apart from the Tuatara, of course. But I mean, who doesn't like the Tuatara? That is not the point here that I'm trying to make. But anyways, I mean, some of you are probably saying, why didn't you just put the Tuatara in your number 1 list? The reason being is because the Cayman Lizard looks like an Allosaurus, the Tuatara doesn't. So there you have it. And also because also because the Cayman Lizard looks somewhat like a crocodile at the very least. It would be pretty much like owning a tame crocodile at your house. That's pretty much what it is. And Cayman lizards, depending on which kind of Cayman lizard you have, can grow to about, like, say, 2 feet to, like, 4 feet at its max, with that long tail and those claws and that big head. So yeah, and they're not for the beginner owner, which is why I am owning a lizard right now, and I plan on saving for the Cayman Lizard, because the Cayman Lizard is so awesome. However, the care it has very specific care requirements. Like, even though they are insectivores, they will only their main diet is snails. I mean, it sounds kind of weird, but they eat snails with their shells, and that's why their heads are so big when they're juveniles. Because that's what people keep asking everyone, is like, why are their heads so big? The reason being is because they eat so much shells. The shells have the type of protein that makes their heads so large. So yeah. But anyways, that's the Cayman Lizard, my #1 favorite lizard in the world, apart from the Tuatara, because it looks so much like the Allosaurus. And if I had this lizard, my channel would grow massively. If I had this lizard, my channel would grow to be like the best channel in the world. So that's pretty much the Cayman Lizard for you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching this Top 5 Monday. I will be working on some more every week, although I do have many of my films. So I will talk about some more video stuff in the next update video that I have Gendrome in. So later.